Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 63 of the Battleship Brawl Season 5 tournament. In this episode, we've got the Perses by Steve C going up against the Willhelm by Smirnov. And also, yeah, I kind of missed out on several episodes last week because, when it rains, it pours. My graphics card had a fan failure, and it was causing some overheats and shutdowns and other issues. And so I had to take care of that. And with the whole virus stuff going on, procuring the parts and whatnot that I needed was not quick or easy. So did get that fixed, and we're going to get back to it. Here we go, round one underway. But yeah, everything's good now. Haven't had a crash since I replaced the parts. I wasn't sure if it was my graphics card entirely, but yeah. Ever since I replaced the card, it's been going well. Percy's taking some hits to its forward guns here. One of the forward turrets losing both guns. And the deck has had some of the upper layers trimmed off, but only in the bow do we see any actual penetrations. And that's because it's a single layer of reinforced wood up there. Let's check on the Willhelm, which, as a reminder, the Willhelm is actually disqualified. I believe this is the one that has the horizontally mounted propellers, which is not allowed. And the ship thoroughly breaks if you remove those. It does not work right. So it was not something I could easily fix, and it has been disqualified. So it is considered sunk as of this moment, and for every other moment in every other battle it will participate in. So the Perses is basically just fighting for survival HP. However much it can survive these battles by will determine the points it gets. Ooh, that shell from the Willhelm. They're getting in there and doing some damage, but then we can see on the Perses here, its shells kind of just detonating on the surface, as it is known to do, and not really doing anything. Like, even a direct hit to a turret might not actually do much to the turret, because those things just do not penetrate. I mean, other than barrel damage, obviously. Barrels are going to get sheared off if there's explosives involved. That's just going to happen. And see, look how badly the Willhelm tilts just from a little bit of flooding. That's basically what it does without the underside, the propellers on the underside. It does that just as a normal thing. So, like, as soon as it takes any damage, it just sinks. The Willhelm is very low in the water. It's at 95% HP. And the deck is awash and it is listing heavily. If the Perses can blow some holes in the front here, Willhelm may very well sink. That shell, nope, went over. Alright, fly back over here to the Perses, see how it's doing. Ooh, it's looking a lot rougher, but it's sailing a lot smoother. Like, it doesn't look like it's about to sink. Unfortunately, I was about to say all it has left is the APS gun in this. Oh, wow, that gun, wow. Oh, no, it didn't survive. I was going to say, that gun survived that? How? But it didn't. The answer is, it didn't. There's still one barrel up here on this one turret firing as well. Perses is kind of got a critical lack of firepower going on right now. Oh, there's a hole in the bow there. So that's going to be more flooding because that's below the water line. Oh, it was, but now it's not. Willhelm got some repairs in, I guess. It's no longer listing, it's getting that water out. Oh, and did it just hop out of the water? Yes, it did. Because that's how you physics from the depths, totally. Okay, now the Perses is looking like it's about the same. Very low in the water. The front of the deck is a little bit awash. Rear's fine though. Oh, that one gun up here got taken out. So literally all that's left are these two barrels right here. And that's all that's going to be because the Perses is out of materials to repair with. Oh, and the Willhelm is tilting heavily again. Whatever it did to fix the flooding before has been undone. It is really low. That is a lot of the ship under the water. It has got to be like really close to hitting the DQ levels of depth. But on the flip side, the Perses is pretty much the same place. Bow taking some hits. Perses is, ooh, it's listing hard. She might be going down. Yep. The entire ship is under the water. Hey, that's enough. Doggo's like, hey, there's people out here. They exist. I should bark at them. It's like, no, you shouldn't. But yeah, for those of you who wonder why we have things like the out of bounds limits, well, here's a good example of it. The Willhelm can't do anything against this ship because it wasn't built to fight submarines. Oh, it actually did land a hit there, didn't it? But anyway, it can't really do that much. So, you know, we've got to have some way to end the battle, otherwise we'd be sitting here for another 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Just watching the Willhelm fail to do anything significant to the Perses. That is why the boundary limits exist. Well, a big part of it. They also exist to keep the battles closer because they're easier to film that way. Because imagine if these things were like friggin' 20 kilometers apart, like they, you know, they were fighting at realistic naval ranges, and I had to fly back and forth between the ships. Oof. I mean, I can use the snap camera thing, you know, this, but oh god, it's really rough to use, and like when I do try to change to other things, it's very disorienting. Anyway, the front guns on the Perses have already been wrecked. The rear gun just came into the fight and took some hits, and that APS gun is gone. Yeah, it got hammered pretty hard there. See, honestly, I would have probably built that one block shorter. Maybe even put the firing piece on the deck. just too tall. It's an easy target. So yeah, Percy's not doing so well right now. Oh, but it did manage to pop the cap off of one of the turrets of the Willhelm here. And another one is damaged. Or, I should say disabled. This turret's not firing anymore. And it's unlikely that it will. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely that it will get repaired to the point that it'll be operable again. Just because neither of these ships have a huge amount of repair materials available to them. Now, it looked to me like this turret just took a shot straight to its barbette, but there's like no damage there, so I'm thinking maybe it was right here where the shot landed. Because while these shells don't really penetrate, they do explode, and they do have a tendency to make holes. It's just the way they're fused, they may as well be pure HE shells. They don't get any penetration before they detonate. Once again, Percy's down to just these two barrels back here in the rear. Oh wait, I say that, nope, this barrel is still functional. Again, that happened in the first round too. Now the Willhelm has some unfortunate fusing as well. Like, I think they have some inertial fuses. So a lot of the shells that when they hit the water and they skip, they detonate. See, just like those. Though, I mean, a lot of times when you have a shell that skips off the water like that, it's going to miss anyway. So having it detonate like that doesn't really cost you anything. Because either way, the shell's not doing damage. And you could say, you know, oh, well, it's possible that it could, you know, water skip like right here, and then the explosion hits the hull and does some damage. Whereas, without that fuse, it would just bounce over the ship and do nothing. Like, yeah, that's true. It could also be said that sometimes shells will skip off the water and still hit the ship and do their full damage anyway. So it's kind of, you know, 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Rear turret just took a shot to the top of it, it looked like. At least I thought so, but it doesn't look like it did. I don't know, maybe it hit the deck. Willhelm's still at 95.5. Well, the Perses down to 84.8. That one actually just straight up skipped off the hull. That would have been a perfect time for the inertial fuse to go off. But either not all of the shells are fused, or it's not actually an inertial fuse, but it doesn't seem like it's acting like a timed fuse. So, I don't know. But it's always the really shallow bounces that don't go off. But that, I mean, that one's actually kinda... That's kinda sharp. You would think the inertial fuse would go off from that. See, some of them bounce over, but then some of them detonate on the water. It's like, I don't think all of them are fused the same. Man, the Perses in a great position right now as far as, like, defending against the Willhelm shots, because they keep either detonating on the water or bouncing over the Perses and doing... But either way, they do basically nothing. It's not in a great position with the fact that it has no weapons left with which to fight. However, since its opponent is one of the fully disqualified ships... it's, you know, how much damage it does doesn't really matter. What matters is how much HP it has when the round ends. So if it can stay alive for another 3 minutes, it can earn itself a, you know, a good 183.3 points right now. Willhelm is pretty low in the water too. Like, it is almost completely submerged. There's like 4 meters of deck over here, give or take, that isn't below the waterline. All the Perses has to do is not sink. Just 2 minutes and 5 seconds longer. He will get a decent score. That superstructure getting hit and getting blown apart there. It's kind of bad. Like, it's not affecting the operation of the ship, but it is a decent chunk of HP getting knocked off, and that's really what's important right now. It does look like the Perses is going to survive this time, though not guaranteed yet, because if it were to sink at this point, it would get an 80% sinking despawn, which only takes 10 seconds, rather than the disqualification despawn it got in the first round, which takes a full minute. we go. That is the end of the match. So the Perses survives with 77.9% HP this time. Alright. Oh, it's the end of the round. I think I said match, but it's round. We have another round in the match to go still. Perses always gets hammered by that initial barrage. Look at that. I don't think this forward gun has survived the initial barrage the entire... Or no, it's been this one that got blown apart every time. Except this one. It's like every single match, the initial barrage has destroyed at least one of these guns. Oh, and this rear turret took some barrel damage. Perses not having a lot of luck with landing shots on the Willhelm this match. Oh, and both of the front... Oh, never mind. I thought this was the very front gun. But, nope. Willhelm has more weapons available to it at this point than it has in the previous rounds. So this APS gun, losing that many barrels, is going to be pretty weak at this point. Because it is a pure kinetic round. Losing that muzzle velocity means it just kind of dinks into things. It doesn't really hurt. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's definitely dangerous. The Willhelm's tilting and flooding. And having a hole over here means, well, I think those compartments might flood normally anyway. But having that hole there means if that water gets up high enough and that isn't normally flooded, it will now. Front gun got taken out now, so now it's just the rear turret and the APS gun. The APS gun isn't really doing much anymore. See, let's oh, it missed. I want to watch it see and get like a real close shot of where it lands. Well, it bounced off that one, so. Nope. That's a miss. That's also a miss. That's another bad thing about having the barrel sheared so low. Very inaccurate weapon at this point. Oh, pff, and then it managed to just directly hit a barrel and kill several blocks of it. Did that just bounce off? Yes, it did. Oh, the Willhelm is not doing well in buoyancy. If we're to lose some buoyancy back here in the rear, it might very well sink. Its front is, even without the listing, under the water. Oh, but the Perses is gone. I look over here and there's just open ocean, no enemy ship. Perses is kind of down here. It has become a submarine. Yeah, shells don't travel well through the water. Oh, and there we go. The Perses detonated. So, yeah, that's the end of this match. The actual match this time, as well as round 3. So this will be the score for the Perses, 177.9. And yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.